Welcome again to lyra.com, your leading holistic health resource for North America and the world. And today we're going to look together at the amazing color tuning 64 system. It's a modular system by Bucher coaching software that combines quantum radionics with light, sound therapy, psychosomatic therapy, and much more. And we're going to go in detail about all of its unique features. We're going to look at a video of a natural health practitioner using the system on a patient and tell you everything you need to know about it. So without further ado, let's dive right into it. So what exactly is the Color Tuning 64 system? It's a synergistic phototherapy, biofeedback, psychosomatic and quantum radionics system, and is used for holistic diagnostics and multiple radiant autoregulation therapy. It harmonizes the bioenergy and information of the specific body zones. And in this system, the human body is divided according to the Kabbalah life tree in 64 body zones. And Color Tuning 64 measures the interactions between the psychosomatic, bioenergetic, and cellular levels. The diagnostics and therapy are automatically elaborated by the system and apply on synergistically working psychological, bioenergetic, and epigenetic levels. What are this amazing system's main features? Well, it has quite a lot of them that you can only find in this system. It's a high-quality bioenergetic tuner with physiological multi-sensor connection. So that means that you use either brass electrodes that are gold-plated to measure skin galvanic response, or you use light-active hand pads to measure skin response with light provocation. You also have an audiovisual biofeedback for stress balance, dynamic 3D scans of all 64 body zones with a display of the unbalanced zones. You have an auto-regulation feature for selected body zones showing the highest misbalances. You can also perform a psychosomatic scan and a therapy based on the Dr. Drew technique, questioning technique that is. You have also a therapy with a color tone cascades. So you have here color classification by indication, meaning psychoenergetic resonance, as well as freely programmable color sequences. It's an optimal system regulation by the combination of information medicine, here quantum radionics, and bioenergetic effects of the color light system in the wavelengths of 390 to 630 nanometers. And it has an unlimited number of patients that can be plugged into the system, so you're not restricted there. And it comes with a software installed on a computer that controls all kind of hardware that is modularly combinable with the system, and we're going to go into much more detail about that in this presentation. So you start by performing a scan with the system, and the scan function is performed via skin conductivity measurement and scalar profile download, and it shows the body's problem zones after preliminary provocation with light. The scan results are then displayed in a graphical table as well as on a virtual 3D person, and it shows all the important organ systems. The virtual person shows usually the most unbalanced 7 body zones from a total of 64, but the number of tested zones can be increased up to 64, of course, at your liking. The selected therapy colors are to delete the zone colors disharmonies and to implement the right corrective colors. After you've performed the scan, you go on to the therapy section, and then the resonances found between the patient's unbalanced body zones and pre-recorded data are shown on the virtual 3D person and in a table. The tested disharmonious colors are deleted by sending the complementary colors into the respective zones, and additionally, the energy status of each body zone is even more improved by the transmission of the appropriate color frequencies and information. This is further supported in the system by the Tibetan bowl sounds, and the therapy is further enhanced by addressing specific questions to create patients' awareness about major psychosomatic problems, which are the root of all misbalances. Through the combination of information medicine and the bioenergetic effects of light, sound, psychosomatic therapy that are operated in a biofeedback and radionics system, an optimal systemic regulation can be achieved. So before we go more in depth about all the hardware and software options that this system brings you, let's look at one patient case and a very successful naturopath in Germany and how he is using the system in his daily practice.
For well over 20 years now, Jörg Dres has been leading a successful naturopathic practice in Rottgau near Frankfurt, Germany. He works holistically and has patients from all over Germany as well as foreign countries. He treats people with physical ailments and psychological problems such as anxiety, negative energies, addictions, depression, negative emotions, or personal blockades such as performance and success blockades. He uses different systems and treatment methods depending on a patient's needs, such as osteopathy, conversation therapy, EFT knocking technology, family and conscious medicine, as well as special medicine for awareness, such as the causalites of the land pharmacy Twistringen. Amongst other methods, Dr. Dres also uses the Bucher coaching systems that work on the basis of conscious medicine. For this patient, he first checks her stress level by connecting her via the hand electrodes to the Bucher stress balance, which makes her stress level visible. The system works according to biofeedback principles and can bring strain and relaxation into an ideal balance. The effects are immediately visible as the butterfly comes slowly to a standstill while the ideal stress level is achieved. So your complaints last time were about your gastrointestinal tract. How is the situation today? Today it's perfect. In the anamnesis, he discusses in depth her state, feelings, symptoms, and problems. He follows this up with a Bucher color tuning 64 scan, which he then compares with the previous findings. I will now perform a new scan. I will do this via the color tuning. May I ask you please to pick up the hand electrodes and observe the colors on the screen so that we have a comparison between your results of 2 weeks ago and today. As you can see, the system scans all your body zones via the hand electrodes and we get our results. The light emitted by the patented color vision lens creates tension and relaxation sequences. The reactions to those are picked up by the system and assigned to the 64 body zones. By comparing the results to the previous ones, conclusions can be drawn about changes in the patient's condition and successfulness of the therapy as well as necessary changes in the treatment plan.
Und ob gegebenenfalls Korrekturen bei der Behandlung erfolgen sollen.
Jetzt schauen wir uns das bunte Menschen im Detail an. Und gehen hier rüber.
Now we will look at the results in detail. The new measurement results are displayed, evaluated, and interpreted. The measured colors in the different body zones indicate thematic focuses, which are taken into consideration for the following therapy. To make the results easier to understand for the patient, the found values can be displayed in traffic light colors, whereby the zones with good values are displayed in green, zones with average values yellow, and zones with bad values appear in red. To achieve a further improvement of the symptoms and the resolution of the problems, he creates a patient-specific remedy. The harmonizing information is thereby transmitted through light and sound onto the carrier, and the fluid can then be taken orally, and it transports the healing frequencies that strengthen the patient's self-healing power. I can transmit this information To the output beaker, I press start transmission, and now this information is transmitted via the biosignal tuner to the carrier. And this can take up to 2 minutes.
Das werde ich übertragen mit dem Biosignal. Genau, genau. Ja. Das lassen wir jetzt ruhig mal 2 Minuten dauern, damit die Information drauf ist. Ich möchte schon fest drauf haben. Okay, das kann der glatt auf. Genau.
You can now take out the bottle and spray it orally, okay? The harmonizing frequencies can also be directly transmitted via color vision lamp and a sound lounger. The launcher's base is designed like the resonance body of an instrument, such as a guitar or a violin. The sound bowl music played by the Bucher Color Tuning 64 system is specifically tuned to the patient and can be directly perceived by the patient. The light of the vision color lamp supports the self-healing powers through the emission of precisely defined light wavelengths in a specific nanometer range.
Farblicht unterstützt die Selbstheilungskraft durch Übertragung von genau definierten Lichtwellen in einem bestimmten Nanometerbereich.
With this combination, the experience and results are very intense, but you can also use the sound lounger and the vision color light separate from each other.
I think you'll agree there was a pretty good insight into how this amazing system can be used in your daily practice. And now let's talk about the options that you have with this system. So all of these hardware components are controlled by the Color Tuning 64 software. And what do you have available as hardware to connect to it? You have 2 tuners. One is called a bioenergetic tuner and one is the psychosomatic tuner. And we're going to explain in the next section of the presentation what the difference is between them. Then also you have those light spot emitters, also called vision color lights of different sizes and shapes and with their own physiological coupling. And they can also be used as standalone light therapy devices. We're going to talk about those, of course, too, in depth. And then you have the spectral light hand pads with a skin galvanic response and light diagnostic. The software can be combined with 2 tuners. One is called a bioenergetic tuner. It's a multi-talent, has many functions, very robust and versatile. And the other one is the psychosomatic tuner, which is a portable tuner with the same functions as the BET, but without a magnetic card encoder. And both of these tuners come with the following functions. They have a physiological bioactive link called GSR between the brass hand electrodes and the human body that is needed during the scan and therapy procedures. You have the input beaker with energetic and light decoder for sampling DNA samples. You have an output beaker with energetic and light encoder to imprint your own remedies. You have also a white noise diode for remote scanning and broadcasting. Optional, you can get spectral hand pads, which are a fantastic and unique alternative for your scan and therapy procedures. And they also come with a magnetic card encoder for transdermal therapy. Well, the BET comes with it, of course, the psychosomatic tuner. That's the only feature it's missing. And then you can connect to the software a wide range of Color Tuning 64 light spot emitters. And here we should talk about their unique features, because this is not your normal bulb that is being used here. This is a patented technology that you can only get here. And we all know that light is the best information and frequency carrier. Does any radionic therapy when it's using light as information carrier is much more intense and efficient. Our light spot emitters are a new generation of light devices that are using a sophisticated and unique patented light emission process. And this light that they are emitting is unique because it has a very high coherence comparable with laser lights. It has a very narrow and precise wavelength located only in the visible spectrum range. So infrared and ultraviolet were fully excluded here as they are not beneficial. They shorten up your treatment time along with a very deep penetration into the tissue that they make possible. This light shows a very high intensity. However, the human eyes can accommodate to this intensity with no additional eye protection. And this light is highly efficient in many therapies due to the very precise wavelength, the lack of parasite frequencies, and the deep tissue penetration they enable. This light has also a still and quieting effect, as it does not include a power grid frequency of 60 Hz. Through a special color light generation, a unique right-handed polarized light quality of the highest purity and brilliance is offered for specific treatments. These color light devices do not use any filters to change the colors, thus being more comfortable and faster during the application. And the light spot emitters are available in different shapes that we're going to show you in the next slides, and in sizes from 150 mil to up to 1.5 meters, which is about 3 feet. They can be coupled to the Color Tuning 64 software, or they can be used as a standalone chakra harmonizer and phototherapy system. And light spot emitters can generate light of different colors in the range from 390 nanometers to 630 nanometers. And the main colors in this range are red, pink, orange, yellow, green, turquoise, blue, magenta, indigo, and purple. And here you can see all the different shape and sizes in which those vision color lights or spot emitters come in. So you have a great selection that you can choose from. And they go up to sizes that can cover your whole body. As you can see here on the left is a 900 mil, so almost 1 meter or about 2 feet light emitter. And here on the right, the green one is the biggest one we offer, which is almost 3 feet long. What are the application fields for the Color Tuning 64 system, I hear you ask? Well, you can treat psychosomatic disorders, emotional stress and exhaustion, systemic functional disorders, dermatological problems, immunological weaknesses, neurological disorders. It also helps relieve pain. It helps with wound and burn healing. It's also very good and effective against depressions and SAD. And it helps also with the circadian rhythm and jet lag or sleep disorders. So let's wrap this up by talking about the benefits for you. Well, as you've seen already, it's an exceptional supportive therapy for all other medical and holistic treatments, or as a standalone solution. It's easy to operate, as you've seen in the video, and can be also used as a home device therefore. Doctors report that they get much more patients as the device is so easy to operate that it can be operated also by nurses. You can increase your patient income as you diagnose and treat in minutes. You offer better and more diversified services to your patients, including own remedy give-outs, and you can produce here your own customized remedies that are custom tailored to your patient's needs. Color Tuning 64 means radionic therapy experience in a more intense way due to the enhancement of the radionics through light and sound therapy. There are no risks, no side effects. It's a smooth and brilliant, quieting and efficient psychosomatic and biofeedback therapy. And we think that a Color 64 tuning system is your success key for your practice. And if you've enjoyed this presentation, then as always, please like, share and subscribe. Contact us at www.lyranara.com. We are the only distributor of this system in the North Americas. Until next time, stay healthy.